No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome back. Perfect Parlay Pursuit time, coming off the heels of a very boring, terrible, one of the worst UFC cards of all times card, going into yet another card that is going to be a chore to sink your teeth into, at least the main event. We have another fight card to break down. We have to pursue another perfect parlay. Lot to go over, not much to go over. Lot to get into, not much to get into. Dan, Alex, what's going on, boys?
Can't say I could give the best recap in the world of this past card. You know, if it's going to be any card, I guess this was a good card to skip out on. Of course, I was tailing my phone, making sure the picks were aligned. No winnings this week, but also not too much investment, so we're good on that part. The excuse I got is a wedding. Congratulations to John and Carol. You guys are the best. But
fuck you, John and Carol.
No, they're awesome. Shut up. They're way cooler than you. But this next card, I feel like it's going to be way cooler than this last one, both in terms of entertainment and profitability. So looking forward to hopping into that. Alex, you're also very cool. I'm sorry about that. You're also very, very cool. How was your past weekend?
Well, boys, I also didn't really watch the fights much either. I caught a few. I watched a bit. But honestly, like, even if I was home and I wasn't busy, I don't know if I could have sat through that. Like, and I might be boycotting the UFC until further notice, until they can put a good product on the screen. I'd rather not have fights every weekend.
I don't give a fuck.
I'd rather not have fights every weekend if this is the product I'm gonna get.
Unforgivable.
Yeah, man. Let's go over it. The one gem of the night, the best part of the night. A Star is Born. My new favorite fighter, Brian Battle. I'm going to show this. This is from Parry Punch, just one of the random accounts that. Oh no, this is not from Parry Punch. Sorry, so this is just my Instagram. I'm just going to show you guys. I sent this to you boys. But this is ESPN MMA. Okay, so check this out. For those of you who haven't seen this, this is what we're going to be talking about.
This fight is considered a no contest. No one's kicking your ass.
Yeah,
So,
your comment of I'm going to kill you.
Context. I'll give you guys the context on that. I mean, you just go watch the video if you haven't seen it, guys. If you also skipped the card, make sure you check out Brian Battle post-fight interview. Even better than what you just saw there is what comes to follow. Because what happened was Brian Battle dominates this fight, right? Now, some commentary I made to my girlfriend that when I'm watching the fight, you know, she's sitting there on her phone on Instagram looking at recipes and shit. I'm giving her the goods, giving her fucking the shit that I should be telling to the Discord, but I'm too into the fight. I can't type. I'm just talking. I'm spitting. Because we're watching it on mute, obviously. We're watching the fights on mute. So I'm giving her a little Dominic Cruz of her own, right? A little short king action right there in her own home. So I say to her, you know, the reason Brian Battle is winning this fight is because he ran at Angelusa with a fucking flying knee and put the pressure on him from the jump. Angelusa, look how he's built, right? All, you know, powerful. I'm not saying all for show, not for go. He's for go too, but he only has a little bit of go. And nobody trains on their back foot these days. So if you're Angelusa and you're now being pushed backwards and you can't apply your pressure and now you're moving backwards and he's sapping you of your energy at the only time in the fight you're going to have it, that beginning portion, I knew right then and there, Brian Battle is not only here to stay, he's going to go very far. He's a cerebral fighter with an athletic build for the division and is putting himself around all the right people with the right mindset. He's got it here. He's got it here. He's got it here. Brian Battle, I knew when you called out Ian Gary and Ian took a shit on you and we went after Ian and got banned and got into the whole scuffle, the whole scuttlebutt with Layla. I knew then and there you were special. That's why I defended you. And here we are to this day. Brian Battle, open invitation on the show whenever you want to come on the show. He said what all these pussy fighters are too afraid to say. He said he wanted out. That was a bitch move. He should, and he's the one who poked him in the eye. So guys, he dominates the first 2 rounds. Angelusa is coming forward. He actually hits him with an illegal headbutt. He's treading, you know, not like intentionally, but he's wading in, and he lifts his head up and bumps Brian Battle, right? Illegal headbutt. Not a word is said about that. Maybe it was. I was watching on mute. I don't know. It could have been said. I don't know if they mentioned it. I was watching on mute. But he bumps him in the head. So I said to my girlfriend, like, that was an illegal headbutt. Is that why they stopped the fight? And then I realized, oh, no, they stopped the fight because of the little thumb action. As he's getting headbutt, he kind of pushes off, almost like going for the clinch. Not even really like an eye poke. It was just kind of like thumb got him a little bit in the corner. No visible damage. As you guys both know, your eyes are parasympathetic, meaning if I poke you in this eye, this one's going to squint too. They're both going to start squinting, right? That's even led some fans to think fighters are faking it because they're like, why is he squinting his other eye? He got poked in that eye. It's like, no, your eyes are parasympathetic, man. Look it up. It's a $3 word. It means that what happens to one happens to the other. So Angelusa's one eye's fine. There's all the telltale signs that he's being a faker, right? But the main sign is that he wasn't even willing to wait the 5 minutes. Within 30 seconds of the doctor coming up, I can't see. We're done here. Crazy. And then has the nerve to put on his little crocodile tears. Did you guys see that? I screenshotted it just to show the audience. Guys, you got to see this picture of Angelusa. I mean, he's getting it bad in his comments. He deserves every bit of it. And you know me, I don't care if it actually blinded him. I think he still should have fought on. I mean,
yeah.
This came in the post-fight interview. Like
your eyes are parasympathetic. I'm asympathetic to fighters who get their eye poked.
Great joke, Alex.
Thanks.
Yo, look at him. Look at that little smirking little crocodile tear fucking liar. He's a dishonesty of the highest caliber. And he's got and then he turns to Brian Battle and does the little puppy dog eyes like, and Brian Battle gives him nothing. It was perfect, right? But then even in the post-fight, he goes, I was whooping his ass. Now, here's the key, right? After the fight, they get into the scuffle. Angelus is so irate, he has to get escorted out. But you see how quick he just jumps up. He's ready to fight right then and there, right? It's like, bro, and that's what Brian said in his post-fight interview. He's like, oh, you want to fight now when you didn't even take more than 30 seconds to tell him you couldn't see? Now you want to fight? He's like, I'll fight him next week. I'll fight him anytime. I don't care. He's like, I was whooping his ass. He's not going to want to fight me. But the funniest part is, think about it. It was a no contest, but who got the post-fight interview? They don't even give some winners. If you win by a unanimous decision, they'll fucking pull your interview. This motherfucker got a no contest, still got the winner's interview. That's worth more than your win bonus. That's worth more than any kind of bonus. That's like $1 million worth of free press right there on ESPN, nonetheless. So he gets the interview, steals the show, goes viral with it. All in a day's work, if you ask me. Sounds good. Sounds like a win to me. Move on.
How often does a fighter prove us correct? Like when we start riding a fighter, loving him, besides Ilia Topuria, Brian Battle's the only standout that I know that we have backed that horse for a long time, and we finally got our just desserts.
Well, Alex, I'm glad you brought that up because it's a perfect segue into this week's card, which we're going to get to really soon. But the return of the Moroccan Devil, Yusuf Salal, somebody who I've ridden every single fight he's ever been in, somebody who I've stuck my neck out for, and somebody who may very well, in my opinion, be the best fighter with the worst record in the UFC, at least. The best fighter to enter the UFC and lose that much in a row. Besides Daniel Lacerda, who is McGregor-esque, obviously.
OSP.
No, OSP is... Oh, we got to talk about OSP.
Best fighter with the worst record. He's 27-17.
As cowardly as Angelusa was, Kennedy Nzechukwu should be thanking him because it overwrote, it underscored, it capsized, it softened. What am I? Smoke screened. It smoke screened the embarrassing performance that was Kennedy Nzechukwu, the biggest favorite on the card, against Ovin St. Preux, the oldest, stiffest warhorse on the card. He had a fight that when I'm watching it, I'm going, okay, Kennedy Nzechukwu bet on himself to win by decision. That's how it felt to me when I was watching it. That's how where'd Dan go?
He was frozen for quite some time.
Obviously, I'm just saying this is like my opinion. This is what I thought. I'm watching the fight. I'm going, what is he doing? Why is this a sparring match? Why is he just kind of coasting? Why is he not pushing for a finish? Why is he not trying to do any? And I'm like, is he just trying to like win a decision, like purposely trying to just coast to a decision? But then in the second round, it just starts to, it starts to not go his way. And it's like, yeah, this is what you get for trying to fight for the level of your opponent. This is what you get for trying to be able to just dap Ovin St. Preux up and be like, he's a nice guy and legend. And I don't know. I don't know what I was watching for the first couple rounds, but it looked shady and suspicious. And then Kennedy Nzechukwu starts getting his ass beat in the third round, almost finished.
And that's just what I get. And that's just what I get for going against my guy after so many fights, being wrong on the Oven St. Preux hill, dying on that hill so many times. And then when he's fighting a minus 500 favorite, I take the minus 500 favorite. What's my problem?
Well, it's not. I mean, guys, I'm just always going to bet on the side of youth, of reach, of a better gym in a lot of ways. Like,
I won't. I bet on Oven St. Preux so many times in the face of age.
I mean, you'll bet on the Tony Ferguson.
I bet on a Tony Ferguson. I'll fuck around and I'll bet on a Tony Ferguson. But Oven St. Preux is my guy, and he's the one who can get it done. After all these shots I take on Oven St. Preux, are you kidding me?
Who's the oldest fighter I've ever taken, like in recent memory? Guys, shout it out if you can think of somebody who's old that I've taken. I mean, I'm always trying to favor these young guys, and I think over time we're gonna see that it becomes a younger and younger sport. I think. But anyway, there's really not much else to discuss. I want to say Jackie Amorum. I knew we Triple P certified her underdog. A lot of people will just kind of flip a coin on these ladies, take the underdog no matter what. But when it came to this fight, I just knew that Poppins is not who she's fraud check. It happened in the fucking Elise Reed fight, guys. You can't ever bet on somebody who loses to Elise Reed, So I'm done waiting on a wing and a prayer for these girls to just start, finding the will to win in there. I'm going with the tangibles, the reach, the Brazilianness. Some girl who looks like she's looking for her fucking lost puppy on the side of the road. Hey, can you help me find my dog? It's like pathetic. You look pathetic. You look like a badass chick who's gonna beat someone's ass in a bar. I'm going with you. I'm done with this whole quiet warrior Roxanne Modafferi bullshit. No, if you look like that,
speaking of badass chicks,
look tough or it's off.
Speaking of badass chicks, what about the badass herself, Macy Chiasson, who's tougher than all hell, man.
First round.
I don't know where I was or what I was doing for that fight.
First round RNC. It was red panty night.
Oh yeah, no, I did see it. I just wished I didn't. Yeah.
Macy
Chiasson is a hero.
A hero? Tough as nails.
I was a different guy. I channeled a different guy, but
tough as nails.
Yeah. Well,
nobody's been through what Macy Chiasson has been through, and I told you that last week, and I knew Macy Chiasson was going to make light work of that after everything she's been through.
Blew up a lot of those over parlays, I'll say that, right?
Dude, she got Macy Chiasson out of there with Macy Chiasson, where she got Panty Kainsat out of there a long time ago, just as easy. If anybody thought the over was hitting in that fight, I knew Macy Chiasson. She's a big, tough girl, dude. Macy Chiasson, tougher than all hell, gritty, strong, independent woman.
Would you say she'd be Durandamy?
I'll say she'll beat Durandamy, and she would be my presidential candidate if she was on the ballot.
Okay.
Nobody's been through more than her.
Listen, listen, I'm just gonna run through real quick. So you guys didn't watch the fight. You guys didn't watch the whole card.
I watched some.
So here's my opinion.
Here and there.
Here's my. This is gonna be my lightning round. Comment if you disagree with any of this, because I really need to know. Chad Anheliger beat Gregorio. That fight, I was watching it, first fight of the night. I kind of thought Gregorio was winning the fight, but the third round, he looked shitty. But overall, if you can't get it done against 13-6 Chad, or 13-7 or 12-7 Chad Anheliger, Gregorio, you disappointed me. I don't often trust debutantes, but he's a 40-year-old man fighting at 135. You're crazy for not beating him, Gregorio. Shame on you. Thiago Moises, amazing. When I was watching Thiago Moises fight, I thought, this is the Thiago Moises that I've known exists all along. But where was he in that loss he had recently when he got completely dominated in the jiu-jitsu department on the ground by, what's his name? Who did he get his ass beat by recently?
I don't remember.
Benoit Saint-Denis.
Yeah, Benoit Saint-Denis, right? He gets fucked up by Benoit Saint-Denis. And but no, also Joel Alvarez, also Islam Makhachev. I'm just saying, we were all kind of a little bit low on Moises. Looked like he quit in that Benoit Saint-Denis fight. He came out there. He was cerebral. His eyes were locked in. He was laser focused. TKO via leg kicks. Mitch Ramirez. What did you think? You weren't going to get kicked in the legs? Are you guys not kicked in the legs in the gym? It wasn't. I mean, If he got compartment syndrome, I apologize, but I don't think he had no compartment fucking syndrome. You know what I mean? He took a fucking leg kick and winced and went down, and it was crazy. Like that was not very tough. I'll just say that. I mean, that one guy took a fucking 2 leg kicks from John Jones. He didn't fall down. That fan.
A fan.
Yeah.
Tiger Moises is half the size of John Jones. So I don't know.
And we got to get into that Tom Aspinall.
And that fan wasn't warmed up. Wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, Mitch Ramirez had to warm up, went out there, like, knew he was going to be in a fight. Like, you can't be getting TKO'd via leg kicks. That should be like, that's a scarlet letter, if you ask me.
The fan had his leg planted. That was like, kick me here twice in a row by a man much bigger. Like, if there were weight classes, John Jones is what? 3 weight classes bigger than that guy?
I thought Josh Quillibao won.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that. But the only
he blew up all the parlays for me.
dude, Quillibao won that shit, dude. He fucking won that shit. Since when are we not grading on damage? Like, it's like, I thought we changed the rules. I thought damage is taken in consideration. I mean, the only way you could give it to Silva is if you reward lay and pray stalling behavior, because
Which they don't.
Right. But he had a couple moments like that. No damage given, nothing. Like, it was you know, Quillibao did have a couple slips, like where he got like, was, you know, doing his Quillibao thing and then got hit and then kind of like slipped for a second and then got up, and it wasn't like a clear knockdown. Like, it wouldn't have been awarded a knockdown in a kickboxing match or anything like that, but it was like, the judges probably did see it that way. I don't know, but I thought he beat that guy's ass, dude. That was bullshit. Amorim, armbar, McKenna, quick work, guys. We're done betting on sweet looking girls unless they're Erin Blanchfield. That's the last sweet looking girl we're betting on.
Who's sweet looking?
She's sweet. Like, she looks
Dan,
like
don't be disrespectful.
yeah, but she's from Jersey, so you know, just if you know, in her heart, she ain't sweet. You know,
No, I'm talking about the Welsh girl. I know. Listen, Aaron Blanchfield.
sweet, like, oh hi, I'm just a little girl, like Poppins. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm talking
Poppins,
about Poppins.
like,
I don't think Poppins is sweet.
oh sure, I hope I win. No,
Poppins
no
is translucent. It's not very
fucking-
sweet.
Okay, so Rafael Filo dominated Ode Osborne, embarrassing. You know, if you picked Ode Osborne in that fight, you should have known that was going to happen. This guy, Ode Osborne, can't figure out how to win a fight, or people say he's well rounded. It's like, no, he sucks everywhere. There's not an area that Ode is good in. He's like good enough to be in the UFC. He's got like a
I'd argue that.
he's got like entry level qualifications across the board. You know what I mean? But he's not one of them has improved his entire career. They're all just like humming along. You know, all that improves is his physique. Like, he looks better and better. Like, his abs and shit look great, but that's just because he fights at 125. It's like, or 135. But no, 125. So it's like, yeah, Chelsea Chandler, great fight. Did run away at one point in the fight. Did turn her back and run. that did happen at least once. But great fight. Beat Nunes' ass. And like, it's like, yeah, you should. Like, stop letting this little girl Nunes come in there against 6'5" women and do this David versus Goliath thing. I mean, like, I love it. It's cool to watch, but let's let fucking, you know, let's let her. I don't know. It was crazy. Like, stop letting Nunes come in there and beat these big chicks' butts, dude. It's crazy.
I wish I kept going. Come on.
Mike
Keep it rolling.
Mike Davis versus Natan Levy.
My boy.
Horrible performance by Natan Levy. Absolute.
No, give Davis his flowers. I didn't even see the fight, but come on now.
I saw Mike Davis.
Mike Davis outclassed him and from pillar to post. He dropped him in the first round.
Give him the credit.
Levy, but then Levy recovers and like never learned a lick of jiu-jitsu in his entire life. Like, I'm telling you, like, isn't working to do the most basic fundamental shit to get out from bad positions in jiu-jitsu. Like, straight up, what is he good at? I thought like he was a grappling guy. Like, what is he?
No, he's like a kickboxing guy.
He sucks.
He's like a
karate
he
sucks ass.
And Mike Davis saw the midnight premiere of Kung Fu Panda the night before.
That's what I'm saying.
How locked in was he?
Really? Well, I didn't know that.
Hadn't even fought in like 2 years. He comes
Dude, Beast Boy is the man. That's why he's one of my boys. We should get him on the pod. I can't wait for this guy. He's gonna be fucking shit up in the division. Mark my words.
GM3 did what GM3 fucking does, man. Made it easy. Submits Brian Barberina. Brian Barberina, you know, the painted nails don't look good when you're fending off a choke and then when you're fucking twitching like a fish afterwards. He went straight out, got choked out, unconscious, almost got his jaw broken.
Saw that. That was sweet. How about this? Tied for most finishes in middleweight history with Anderson Silva. Got to give him his flowers for that. That's kind of insane.
Yeah. He's like the Jim Miller of the fucking middleweights.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. Except
he's Jim Miller.
A little less impressive, but yeah.
Yeah, except probably
I'm saying, like,
probably
Jim Miller
shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And that's what makes me think DC's right. Neither should be in the Hall of Fame. Like that
Yeah,
GM3 is.
If you're putting Jim Miller in there, you're putting GM3 in there.
Nah, I don't buy it.
I don't like statistics.
Tim Miller has the most wins.
It ain't the
I
Hall of
do
Very
not
Good.
like
Is that wins?
statistics-based
Yeah.
Hall of Fame entries because stats
And
can
fights.
be padded so easily.
But
Like,
he has the
only
most
thing that
fights
matters
too.
is
That's
game.
the thing. Like he has the most wins, but he also has the most fights.
Well,
He's probably, when it's all said and done, he's probably gonna have the most losses too.
You know what's funny too? Again, if you don't believe it, who has the most significant strikes landed in the UFC?
Who is it?
Max Holloway. Who has the most fucking head strikes taken in the UFC? Max Holloway. So yeah, if you fucking are willing to fight a lot, you're gonna lose a lot. You're gonna win a lot. If you're willing to,
He
punch
also
a
like
lot,
has
you're
the
gonna-
most time in the octagon
Yeah.
as well. I believe Max.
Exactly.
Holloway.
Listen, the
So
sport's
it's like, yeah,
about
Max, you don't beat him and
availability.
you don't finish anybody. Cool. Like, go get in the Hall of Fame. Like that's why you can't base it on stats.
It's not the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah, but when the stat is wins and you have the all-time wins, that has to mean something.
But he has fights and losses too. I almost guarantee.
And his wins. You have to think of who are the wins against.
Oh,
Because-
who gives a shit, bro?
And
He has
that's
the
why it
most-
matters if it's Anderson Silva defending against the next best guy every time for fucking years and years and
Oh,
ends of fight.
Yeah, his
Each
wins against
response-
math teachers and plumbers are so impressive at that time in
They
the
were the best.
UFC.
Dude, they were the best at the time. You want to take Bill Russell's fucking rings back? You want to take fucking
I do.
Like, what else you want to take?
Sandy
back?
Koufax.
No, Sandy's the man. Listen,
What
he's
about
in the
Babe? What about Babe Ruth? He didn't have Dominicans throwing 100 miles per
That's
hour.
like saying our founding fathers.
Excuse me.
our
I can
founding
get on
fathers
a
didn't have to
long
fight.
tangent about this that you don't want to get into. All right. Well, that's for a separate podcast. We'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, listen. There's only a couple more fights we didn't talk about. Like I said, split decision win for Vince St. Peru should have been unanimous. He fucking dominated him in the third round.
Are you burying the
Honestly,
lead?
though, I
The
thought-
biggest fight?
I mean, like,
Are you burying the lead? Or are you,
Oh,
are you
yeah, right,
skipping
right.
it on purpose?
no. I'm not trying
We
to.
always do
So
this.
C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dolgarian. Man, you watched the fight, Alex. My pick,
People that are dead to me. Dan, Clint, anybody who bet on D-Rod, Devin in the Discord. Don't dance on me. Anybody who picks C-Rod, you're dead to me officially, including the judges. You're all dead to me. Figuratively
man.
speaking, of course.
I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch it. And I guarantee he won. Legit.
I'm so sick of the whole like Dolgarian goes out in the first round and looks like the best fighter you've ever seen. He looks like everybody you want. Fights how you want everybody to fight, right? Sense of urgency, sense of domination, sense of this is my fucking house. I'm coming to get you. I'm not sitting here. Oh, let me download him. I'm downloading. Who am I? I'm Kennedy and Jaquie. Who? You fucking idiot. Yeah, I hate that shit. Get in there and fight as soon as that bell rings. You've been sitting on your fucking asses for 3 months doing nothing, shadow boxing, making Instagram reels, fucking talking about, hey, make sure you get addicted to better.com. Like all this bullshit advertising you guys do. How about you get your ass in there and do your job for the 15 minutes you're told to do it, right? With the 1 minute break in between. You get a fucking 20% break. Imagine if I got 20% of the time I worked as a break. So every 5 hours, I get an hour. I think that's actually what you get. Union. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to say they get a minute in between each round too. It's like, get in there and fight. I want no breaks between the rounds, 15 minutes straight, fight the whole time. And I was even thinking, I was like, we should just make all fights 1 round. Like, I'm sick of this downloading bullshit. Get in there and fight. And if you're not wanting to fight, move on. Get out. Okay, these guys aren't fighting. Go. They don't even get a second round. No second round. No. You guys didn't do enough. It's a tie. It's a draw. Go.
That's one thing I will credit Mark Not So Goodert for stopping that fight. The guy didn't want to fight. We're stopping this thing. Get out of here then. You got glass in your foot? I don't give a shit if you got glass in your foot.
So, yeah.
Wait, what fight was stopped?
PFL.
Don't worry about
PFL.
Okay, never
Don't worry
mind.
about it. Mark Not So Goodert, he's very litigious. We don't even want to bring his name up. Okay. So, listen, what I'm trying to say is C-Rod gets his ass beat in that first round, but then gets to do the same thing in the third round. But it's like, yo, I think that the judges and the zeitgeist kind of value that more. Like everybody has their dad in them or their grandpa in them. That's like, yeah, but you see, in the end, who had the more heart in the end there, didn't he?
Not how hard to get hit, how hard you can keep
Shut the
moving
fuck up.
forward.
How about this? Well, then why don't you discredit C-Rod for sitting there and getting his ass beat in the first round and having no sense of urgency and literally needing to take that in order to be able to do it back? Because now that guy is like, and also it's like, it's kind of discretionary. Like the fight could have been stopped a million times in the first round, you know? Like, it could have been stopped. Could have been stopped in the third round, too. But it's like, that's not what we're doing here. We're judging the fight that's happening. And I feel personally like I want to see fighters fight like Bulgarian, not like Rodriguez. I want to see guys go out there and get it on from the beginning, not survive a beating and then be there when the guy's tired and then you get the win because you got the participation trophy, you got the fucking most improved award, you got the but look, hindsight, like, oh look, grading on a curve, it's like, dude, he was doing so bad, like he was down 100-0. If you're down 100-0 in basketball, it doesn't matter if in the third quarter you scored 25 and they scored 0. The score is 100-25.
So are you relinquishing your fanhood of the Diaz brothers?
Why? They fight from fucking...
No. They get their ass beat in the first couple rounds and then turn around at the end.
No, they're fighting, though. They're throwing strikes. They're not just sitting there. Like, they're throwing strikes. Like,
and getting beaten up in the first round, second round.
Totally.
There's a difference between a tough
they don't hit their
Mexican fighter.
We were giving Nate Diaz his flowers when he got his ass beat for 4.5 rounds against Leon Edwards, and then he came back, and all of us were like, "Well, if there were 6 rounds, you would have won." Blah, blah, blah.
Listen, I got nothing against Christian Rodriguez. I'm just trying to say that people now want to be like, yeah, but Bulgarian needs to get his cardio right. It's like, shut your fucking ass up. He needs to get his cardio right. He fought like a god in that first round. I thought he won the second.
I thought he won a 10-8 in the second.
I mean, I thought he won 10-8 first, 10-9 second, lost 10-8 in the third. So
I thought both of the first 2 rounds were 10-8 Bulgarian. I was like, there's no shot, no matter what, unless Bulgarian gets finished, we win, regardless. He could lose this round 10-6. He could lose this round 10-6.
Aren't writing in some of these scores until the end, honestly.
It has to be the case. Like there's no other answer. So they have to be using pencil, at least. Erasing that middle round, switching it up because they were more impressed in the third.
Bro, Isaac Bulgarian, do not hang your head. You won that shit. Move, we'll get it back. Angelusa, man, if you look at his Instagram, he is getting destroyed. Every single comment is people saying like he's got a pinned post of like him going up to his mom after the fight. And everyone's like, your mom wouldn't be proud of you now. Like blah blah, blah. Like everyone's just going off on this guy. Like. And the only people who aren't are other fighters. And it really shows that, like, fighters are so soft. They're such wimps. They need to just, like, be like, oh, don't worry. Make sure that when I'm getting made fun of, you help me out, too. You know what I mean? Like, they're all a bunch of little boys club, the only ones that are not insufferable are the ones that aren't like this. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, dude. And the worst part about it is there's no code of honor. They'll shit on a guy, but if their buddy who they trained with once does it, then it's okay. You know what I mean? But they'll like point the finger in accusation at somebody they've never met. But if it's just somebody they met once and shared a fucking Gatorade with, now all of a sudden he can do no wrong. You know? And if they get one of those golden opportunities to be on the fucking weigh-ins show, they're gonna fit them in every top 5 list they can. You know? Oh, I'm fucking who am I? I don't know.
And this has nothing to do with Joe Selecki, Fighter of the Year, 4 years straight.
I mean, all right. When Joe comes back on the show, I have some plans. So,
okay.
If you want me to hold Joe's feet to the fire,
which is crazy because our original plan for Joe all along was for him to fight Grant and Dawson. We got there in a roundabout way, but we're there.
Yeah.
If Joe doesn't send us a pair of signed gloves, we might just have to do a heel turn. You know what I mean? We might just have to do it. I don't know. I thought we were, I have the text, I thought we were getting some signed merch, some memorabilia, things of that nature. Listen, we might have to do a heel turn. All right. We'll see what happens, but
no heel turn. Joe, just send us the merch.
No,
don't send us anything, Joe.
No, I want the merch.
Don't send us anything. Donate it to Dustin Poirier's charity or something.
Oh my God. When Joe comes on here, I'm going to be like, Joe, don't let me see you wearing that Dustin Poirier shirt about jumping guillotine. We are a position over submission household here and a position over submission podcast. Okay? I don't want to see any support for that nonsense. Not from Joe. Where's the fucking drop?
Joel is sucky.
No.
That's
the fucked up thing is he'll never see this. He doesn't watch our podcast.
Well,
That's the
we
real
don't know that. We don't know that.
You don't know that? Well, this is the test. You know what? It's like when you want to find, you send something down the pipe, see if it comes out the other end. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It was all good fun. It was all good fun. Jersey Shore fucking out. We're Jersey Shore for life. All right. We support Joe. There's going to be no heel turn, but let's just see if this even makes it across his desk. I highly doubt it. All right.
Tai Tuivasa, coward.
Yeah, he sucks. Tapped out. Like, get choked out like Brian Barberina. He made fucking 10% of what you made, and he went and he did it for the boys. Like he went out, flopped around like a fish. Like that's what we're here to see. Imagine Tai Tuivasa flopping around like a fucking fish. The whole octagon would shake.
Did you guys see John Jones? Did you guys see John Jones and Tom Aspinall link up? What did you think? I thought John Jones sigmaed him.
John should have pushed. I mean, he did great, but he should have pushed him across that stage like he did Daniel Cormier. Like he should have fucking sent him. He should have
Push that head into him.
This is one that the guru got wrong. He was kind of glazing Tom Aspinall. I will say that he was
from his country. You know,
he was glazing his countrymen. So allow me to glaze John Jones a little bit. Taking the hand off the shoulder. Taking the hand off the shoulder was big time. Denying the face off was big time. He was like, nah, man. Like, no, we're not doing a face off. You're lucky I let you come up here to talk. You're a fan. You came to my meet and greet. You're a literal fan. That is such beta behavior. I'm not a fan of anybody. I couldn't stand in I wouldn't stand in a line if the Pope was coming to town, Luke. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I will never wait in a line for anything.
Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't either. I totally wouldn't either.
Nice little glaze for John.
No way in hell. I'm not waiting in a fucking line to meet anybody.
That wasn't in line. I saw him on the streets in public. Glover and I are dear friends.
Oh,
let us not forget.
A little glaze for Glover. Here we go.
In fact, Glover was in fact in a line when I saw him. I was walking the streets. Glover was in a line getting in somewhere.
He was exiting the Ainsworth Hotel.
Don't dox him, dude.
No dox.
It was 5 years ago.
He lives there.
He lives in Connecticut, and that's why he was watching the fight. Where
more doxing.
That was a hub. I mean, I used to watch that fight there. You'd see Frankie Edgar there. You see Glover there. You see all the local boys. If they want to come into the city, have a little night. Yeah, my old stomping grounds. What was that? What's the name of it, though? I can't even remember. Champs? Is that? No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Madison Square Garden.
That's where we saw Frankie Edgar's Champs.
Are you sure it was called Champs? I feel like it was called like Booker's or something.
Nah. Well, if you're talking about the Frankie Edgar sighting,
One
that
on
was at Champs.
1 on 8th. That was fucking or on like 33rd and 8th, and it was like between 7th and 8th. It was fucking
New York talk.
Yeah, it's New York talk.
We,
you know,
we thought we were MMA podcast. Instead, we're New Yorkers. We've made the full turn to New Yorkers,
dude.
As all podcasters do.
You know, we watched Rousey versus who? Who did we watch? Rousey fight?
Nunez.
Nunez, yeah.
That was the New Year's card.
So Tai Tuivasa, the reason you want to bet against Tai Tuivasa, and I know we trophy certified him, but I picked Tybura, and these guys talked me into it because I said, yeah, there's no fucking way in hell the UFC is going to let Tai lose 4 in a row. Like they clearly know something about Tybura in this situation that we don't, and they're pushing him in there to get beat. Well, we kind of were right because he almost knocked him the fuck out. He just couldn't not get choked out. And Tybura, I think, was as surprised as anybody. I think he was like, fuck. They're like, who do you want to call out? He's like, to be honest, I got nothing prepared for this moment. He's like, I didn't even think I was going to remember this week. I thought I was going to go in here and get knocked out. I think so anyway, it's kind of, that's why the card was so bad. I mean, when the only good thing is Brian Battle pokes Angelusa in the eye and then calls him a bitch and tells him he's a coward, and then Michael Bisping agrees with him, and the whole world agrees with him. You know what I mean? It's so funny. It's like
Bisping, noted one-eyed freak. Agreed.
Bisping's like, hey, between you and me, I fucking agree. It's like, we know you agree with him, Bisping. Bisping, that goes without saying. Guy who fought with one eye, yeah, we know you don't fucking think that. It'd be weird if you didn't. It'd be kind of hypocritical if you didn't, to be honest. If he was like, hey, mate, fair, and rules is rules, and Angelusa had every. It's like that would be the weird thing. All right, plenty of talk on that card. This is actually a better card than I thought coming up.
It's actually better than the one that we're coming off of, I believe.
Yeah, there's just too many fights on this one. I'll tell you that much. They could have made. How many they got? 13, 14. Well, it says 14, but it also says 13. The 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, it's 13 because they cut out 5. There's no 5. Sometimes Tapology does this where it'll go like it'll be numbered that 14 is at the top. Like it says Amanda Ribas versus Rose.
Maybe they're still working on the 5. Maybe they're
then
still
MMA
working
balance
on
up
it.
here says 13. So you got to make sure you So
it could still be pending, Luke.
Look at all these canceled and fizzled bouts. Okay, you got Shauna Bannon was supposed to fight Stephanie Loserino. It looks like Stephanie didn't get a replacement opponent. You have Davy Grant was supposed to fight Cody Gibson. It looks like Cody Gibson now faces Miles Johns. Mo Usman was supposed to fight Chris Barnett, the big boy. He's out now. Mick Parkin, undefeated, steps in against Mo Usman. Edmund Shabazian was supposed to fight Dusko Todorovic. Now, Edmund Shabazian fights AJ Dobson. Billy Quarantillo was supposed to fight Gabriel Miranda. Now Billy Quarantino fights Yusuf Zalal, the return of the devil. The devil is back. Ah! So help me. What's a good thing about the devil? Like
Nothing.
the devil has returned.
He went down to Georgia.
Yeah. Speak of the devil, Yusuf Zalal. He's back. If he wins, that should be what John Anik says. Speak of the devil, Yusuf Zalal with the knockout. Like that's what I need from John Anik. I'll forgive you, John. If you say that, I'll forgive you for everything you did. If you don't, I will not forgive you. And in fact, I'll double down. Shabazian, like I said, Miranda, Tafa, Junior, Billy Quarantillo fights Yusuf Zalal. An amazing fight. Feels like it already happened during the pandemic, doesn't it? I think they just both fought on the same card so many times, but we'll check into that. Yusuf Junior, not Yusuf Zalal, Junior Tafa versus Carl Williams. Tafa withdrew. Junior Tafa withdrew against Carl Williams. Now his brother Justin Tafa is fighting Carl Williams. What? These Tafa brothers are tricky. Their names are too close together. They look too much alike. They fight too much alike. They carry the same flag. There's literally they wear the same color shorts. I can't tell these guys apart. I'm never picking on or against either of them. I never knew who it's going to be. You could think it's Junior Tafa, and Justin could literally walk in, and I would not even know. I'd be like, that's Junior Tafa. I'd be like, no, that's his brother Justin. He's playing a trick right now. I'd be like, that's his brother Justin. It wouldn't even change how I pick it, to be honest. There's nothing.
And I feel like this is the second time they've played this shell game in the last 6 months.
How about this too? The Montserrat Randones of the world. Are there 3 Montserrats in the UFC? They're all these short, little, stocky Mexican girls.
Monica.
There's 2. There's at least 2, if not 3. I'm
Monica.
very confused.
In English,
There's
it's
3.
Monica. It's Monica.
There's 3?
There's 3. There's a Montserrat Conejo. There's a
Okay.
Montserrat Ruiz.
Okay.
Actually, there's 4. There's a Montserrat Rendon. And then there's the other one, Montserrat Rendendo.
Yeah, see, I'm all over the place with this. There's a lot of shell games going on in this card. I don't know who's fighting. I don't know what's going on.
This is usually when we do our best, though, when we just kind of are firing from the hip, because you don't play this game for 4 years without developing.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like, UFC 299, I know every single fighter on the card, and I know them very well. I only got one incorrect, and it was a dog shot on Gilbert Burns.
Guys, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is just what Tapology says. This is hilarious. Stephanie Luciano was going to fight Shauna Bannon. Bannon withdrew. Okay, no biggie. We'll get you another 115-pound ladies matchup. We'll put the infamous Julia Polastri in there. So now we got Stephanie. She's in there against Julia. Wouldn't you know it? Stephanie Luciano comes down with dengue fever, guys. Says it right here on Tapology. I don't know what dengue fever is.
Dengue fever.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds like something that you just write into a sitcom or write into a fucking 80s movie.
I'm looking this up.
I mean, it just sounds funny. Why be so specific?
Whoa, it's also known as break bone fever, a viral infection that spreads from mosquitoes to people.
I somehow in my head knew it was. I heard dengue fever, and all in my head I could see was guys in safari hats, the wild thornberries. That's all I was seeing in my head. So I'm like, when you say mosquitoes, now I'm going, okay. I must have actually in a past life this is something,
Common
And
in
why-
tropical and subtropical climates, obviously not going to be found in the tundra. Most people who get dengue won't have symptoms. Okay, so maybe she could have fought through. But for those that do, the most common symptoms are high fever, headache, body aches, nausea, and rash. Those all seem like symptoms you can fight through. Come on now. Those are symptoms that you go through when you go through a weight cut. So you should be fighting. I'm sorry.
So what's so
Dengue
different
fever,
about
not an excuse.
what's so different about this dengue fever and just a regular fever? It just sounds like a regular old fever to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, listen, that's just what Tapology says. I'm not gonna, get into any HIPAA violations here, hopefully, but dengue fever is the Tapology report as reported by Tapology. Guys, we have 13.
I've never taken the Hippocratic Oath, so I can therefore not break it.
I didn't do this stuff.
Okay, so Amanda Ribas, Rose Namajunas, top of the card, top of the bill. Two girls who. What are we gonna do here? Right? It's like they're both a little loopy, right? Fair to say, a little kooky. They're creepy. Yeah, they're kooky. Right? They're a little
Wacky.
Yeah, you don't know how they're gonna show up. Amanda Ribas, you know how she's gonna show up, but it's loopy. It's crazy. I mean, she's out there, she's putting mean faces on, she's throwing looping punches, she's taking punches, and she's a jiu-jitsu girl. Like, spends her whole life doing jiu-jitsu just to go into the UFC and think she's Mike Tyson. When I was a kid, I played soccer my whole life, and my mom, I tell her freshman year, because I'm like, soccer is for, in my head, I realize now I'm like, about to be a teenager. I'm like, soccer is for nerds, football is for alphas. I shouldn't be playing soccer. So I kind of like go to my mom, like, hey, thinking about playing football next year. And she's like, you've played soccer your whole life. Like, why are you gonna play football? Like, also you're 100 pounds soaking wet. Like, what are you gonna play? Kicker? Like, maybe kicker. Like, that'd be a good one. But no, so she literally was like, look, you're gonna get fucking killed. Like, playing it. Like, no, like, don't do that. So I didn't. Amanda Ribas needs the same talk. They need to tell her, Amanda, you've been doing jiu-jitsu your whole life, okay? Going in there trying to kickbox with Rose Namajunas, you're going to get your lights put out. And I think that could kind of happen here. I mean, Rose is in a desperate situation. The only thing is she? Because Rose, the type of girl to sit in her room with her dolls and talk to them and say, if I just lose 3 more, they'll have to kick me out, and then I won't have to fight, And the dolls are like, Rose, we believe in you. You don't have to fight. Don't do it. She's like, but I have a contract. And they're like, okay, well, listen, it's okay to lose. And you know what I mean? They're like, you ever read with The Boy in the Girl's Bathroom?
The Boy in the Girl's Bathroom?
That's the book where the kid talks to his stuffed animals. I don't know. It's a long time ago, guys. Comment if you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like Rose is playing the piano. Her dolls are talking to her. Pat's talking in the kitchen, right? Pat's like, and now, but that's all she hears. It's like in the Charlie Brown cartoons. They're just wah, 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 and he's just you can just see him psychotically cutting vegetables in that kitchen, yelling to her from the other room, and she's just staring at the TV like 11, and she's just like, and the dolls are like, you don't have to win, you've done enough. And she's like, I have done enough. And Pat's like, one more title run, one more fight, one more, and she's like, looking right past them at all of her dolls. They're like, we'll be your friend no matter what. You don't have to be a champion again. And she's like, they're like, we just want to garden with you. And she's like, I just want to garden. Rose just wants to fucking garden. Stop putting her in there. Drake, can you rescue her? Drake, top of the bill. I don't want to see you laying 1.85 mil on Rose and then being sad when she loses. I'm letting you know right now, Drake. Take the smart money. It's on Amanda Ribas. But take Rose away from Pat on your big jet to Toronto and have her over for a week and show her not just you, but other rich people in your network and be like, Rose, you don't need to live in Colorado anymore. Canada's nice too. It's a village up here.
Do you have CTE? Do you have your shots? Do you want to come to Toronto with Drake?
Do you have your dengue fever vaccination?
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
This is the best episode ever. All right, Amanda Ribas, I'm taking you. She's more sound in the mind, in the body, in the spirit. She wants to be here. She's got road left to hoe. Rose Namajunas ain't got more hoeing to do. She don't want to do no more hoeing. So
She does want to do hoeing, but in her
put
garden.
a ring on it. Put a fucking ring on it, or Drake will. I want Drake to put a ring on it, and I want Drake to get her out of Colorado up to Canada. It's very similar. You'll like it. The people are nicer in Canada. Rose would be doing great in Canada. Drake, somebody rescue Rose. Take her out of Colorado. Take her to Toronto.
Pat Barry a waste man, fam.
Caralho.
Rose, Pat Barry a waste man.
If I could be in Drake's circle for 15 minutes, I would just game plan. I'd be like, Drake, we're gonna Mr. Steal Your Girl, Rose. Oh, we're gonna Mr. Steal Your Girl, all these girls. And I would think, Drake, it's not for you. This is for these girls. Put the Batman mask on again. I know you done gave it, Drake. But the world needs you more than ever now. These girls need you. They're fighting in a cage, Drake. Help this girl out. She doesn't want to be here.
Cheer me up, babe. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Huh?
That was Drake. That was Drake getting pulled back in by my
Really
words.
about to say that to you because we've been covering an Amanda Ribas fight, and
All right, I'll take a break. Break this one down.
no, cheer me up, babe. Come on, Amanda Ribas.
Oh. I'm Amanda Ribas. So excited to fight this weekend for you, Alex. I'm an underdog. I'm going to win.
Perfect. Well, I hope she doesn't win. I'm going with Rose Namajunas. Amanda Ribas is there to get hit. All we have to do is hope Rose Namajunas throws the punches. Fought Carla Esparza, did not throw any punches, lost that fight. She needs to throw the punches to hit Amanda Ribas. I think that if I'm Pat Barry, I'm getting in her ear. I'm telling her, throw the punches. Amanda will get hit. She will eat a lot of the punches. Way worse strikers have put Amanda Ribas through hell, and Amanda Ribas will go through hell. Rose Namajunas has a great jiu-jitsu game. A lot of people sleep on that. I feel like earlier in her career, she was kind of like a one-trick pony with the jiu-jitsu. The striking was kind of a later evolution to her game. Rose Namajunas goes out there, and I think she even finishes Amanda Ribas. I think this gets stopped in between rounds, probably between rounds 3 and 4. There's going to be a Brian Ortega type situation. Amanda Ribas is going to try to be a warrior, but Mario Yamasaki ain't in there today. It is Jason Herzog, and he is Captain Save-A-Ho, and he will save Amanda Ribas from herself. Dan, what do you think?
I am with you on this. So we have a tale of two roses, right? We have the Rose against opponents who they don't bring the fight to her, right? As you brought up, Alex, the infamous Carla Esparza fight, right? No offense being brought to her, and she's fine with that. That's when the doll's talking to her really gets to her mindset. Where it's like, hey, she doesn't want to fight. I don't want to fight either. But when it's a Weili Zhang, when it's a Joanna that's bringing the fight to Rose, that's when the fight or flight kicks in, and it's fight all day, and fight she will, and she'll get that dub, okay? As you also said, I'm glad to cover this third here. Amanda Ribas is there to get hit. She will bring the fight to Rose. She will be throwing strikes. Will they be the most polished kickboxing strikes of all time? Probably not. From what we've seen. So I like Rose here a lot. Again, I like fighters who bring the fight to Rose because that's when the counter striking comes into play. That's her best form of attack. And I think that's what's going to be brought out. You know, her back's against the wall a little bit here. I don't know if she necessarily wants to go for a title run. Maybe, maybe not. But she's in a main event slot coming off of a loss. I'm sure she wants to, you know, at least get a couple win bonuses here to round out her career at the very least. So I think this is a good opponent for her, and she'll get the win. Rose Namajunas minus 180 favorite. I'll take that all day. Let's go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Next up, we have Carl Williams, big boy versus a bad man, Justin Tafa Jr. Tafa, who the hell knows which one it is. Dan, who are you rolling with in this fight?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carl Williams. I like the athlete here. Does he have the most polished, rounded out game of all time? No, but this guy, he can go for a solid 15 minutes. He's very athletic, very powerful. He can utilize some wrestling here. I see him taking Tafa down, whether it's Justin or Junior. Doesn't matter. He'll take them both down in the same octagon, two at once. So I like Carl Williams here. Listen, you want to play it safe? Just go with the under. It's going to be juiced at like minus 750, but whatever. It's free money. Take that. Easy play. If you want to play the actual money line, who's going to win? For me, it's Carl Williams, but you know how this goes. It's low level, heavyweight MMA, but under those circumstances, the striking doesn't matter as much to me as the power, the strength, the athleticism, and to me, that all goes into the category of Carl Williams. So that's the pick for me.
Sweet, I'm back. Did you go?
Nah, you can go though.
No, you go ahead. I'm pouring a drink.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't really been too impressed with Carl Winslow lately, but Justin Tafa is not much impressive either. He has losses to like Jared Bandera, Felipe Jorgen de Castro. Wins against the Harry Hunzuckers, the one. Adams is the Parker Porkers, the Austin Lanes. Nobody of note. Carl Williams, on the other hand, hasn't really fought anybody either. This is going to be a bigger test for him than he's experienced in his UFC career, at the very least. He seems like he has a lot of power in there. He's got a decent amount of cardio as well. I think he's going to push the pace. That might be dangerous against Tafa. If you're going to hedge on anything, hedge on an early Justin Tafa knockout. I don't think he gets it later. But Carl Williams is going to have the strength and the size advantage in this one. I'm rolling with Carl Winslow.
I like the 5 inches of reach. I like that he's got good people around him. I like that he is only 4 years older. What do I not like about it? I don't like that he took Jay Sherman to a decision. I don't like that he took all of his fights, Contender Series and UFC, to a decision. It's one of those things, right? They're wearing 4-ounce gloves. It really depends on kind of who shows up that day. Justin Tafa can be easily discouraged. The Tafa brothers can be easily discouraged. Whether it's Justin against Jared Bandera 2 years ago, or I wasn't even really thinking about Justin. I was thinking about his brother when he fought Mo Usman. Right? Mm-hmm. Usman really frustrated him. And I think that if they're fighting in Australia and they got a good opponent who's, there to be hit and isn't trying to grapple too much, they can really have a lot of confidence, come out, bang, and get that first round knockout. But if they are fighting in a situation where I think they get discouraged or they don't feel it, you know what I mean? Then they won't do it. They'll just lose a decision, So I think Justin Tafa has a small window to thread the needle through for victory, and I wouldn't want to really bet on him in this situation, but I don't know. It's just one of those things with the trickery, with the switcheroos, all this shit. Something tells me that, like, when I look at this, I go, I want to pick this one. I want to pick the plus 185. I want to pick Justin Tafa. I don't want to pick Carl Williams. I don't want to pick Carl Williams. And it's
pretty similar to his last fight. Like, Austin Lane had all of the same size advantages that Carl Williams is going to have against Justin Tafa in this fight.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go Tafa. Like I said, I don't really want to bet on this fight, but I'm going to go with Tafa.
Fair enough.
I'm much more comfortable saying Williams with it being the co-main event and then just hedging out on Tafa if I have some insane parlay still going on. But at 185, it's not really juicy enough action for that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go with Tafa and, 2 co-main event and main event underdogs. Let's go, baby.
Perfect. Next up, we have Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson. AJ Dobson.
Did you pick for that last fight? Yeah, I guess you did. So.
Yeah, I did. AJ Dobson. I thought his nickname was Aquaman. Am I confusing him with a different COVID guy who came in during COVID fighting? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, he's got no nickname anymore, and he's fighting the golden boy, Edmund Shabazian. Dan, how do you feel about this one?
I suppose I like Shabazian here. Coming off of the last-minute replacement, AJ Dobson coming in. I was never really super impressed by Dobson. I think that's Shabazian. He's out of the camp with what was his name? Edmund Targaryen or whatever, the Rousey camp. He's in a new camp. He's got a fresh start. He seems to be doing pretty well off of this new beginning, if you will. So I think we're seeing the golden boy that was supposed to be. Dobson he's got the wrestling threat. I don't see that over the course of 15 minutes over Shabazian. If we go back to the normal rule set of damage being the real indicator, I think that Shabazian is going to have that in spades over Dobson. Although, Dobson, he's explosive. He's got some power, but over the course of 15 minutes, I think the combination of volume and power, that combo goes to Shabazian, whereas you're going to see more spurts from Dobson, which at this point in Shabazian's career, I think that he's good enough of a navigator of those seas to get through it. He's fought some of the best way earlier in his career. So I have to imagine that at this point, he's matured. He understands the game a little bit more, and he's ready to kick some ass against the lower competition coming off of last minute replacement status for Dobson. So I like Shabazian here. He needs to win a couple more fights to really win me over. That stank is still kind of on him a little bit, but if we're doing a pick here, I'll go with Shabazian. More investment on him than anything. If I'm not doing Shabazian in a parlay, it'll just be blank. I'm not betting on Dobson here. So Shabazian or nothing.
Yeah, I'm also going to roll with Edmund Shabazian on this one. I feel like it's a similar matchup. AJ Dobson has fought Armand Petrosian. I feel like Edmund Shabazian's kind of like a similar stylistic fighter to Armand Petrosian. I feel like he's going to find success in the same spots as Armand Petrosian, as long as AJ Dobson doesn't, take this fight to the ground, which I don't necessarily think he will. Edmund should have all of the advantages, and I'm rolling with Edmund on this one. I think he stays on the outside, probably cruises to a decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Edmund too, but it's not that I don't think you can make a case for AJ Dobson, especially at these odds. I don't like taking Edmund as a favorite. I think that he's 4 losses and 1 win in his last 5 fights over the last 4 years. Where are people getting this idea that he's a favorite? Granted, he's 5-4 in the UFC, 5 wins, 4 losses, with a win in the Contender Series before that. So.
But he only loses to top 10, top 15 guys. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a 10-fight Dana White, tenure here that he's been served up a lot of really tough competition, rush to the top. He's only 26, 27 years old. So I'm gonna go with Edmund to think the best is yet to come from this guy, and thinking that Dobson is kind of as high as he's gonna go at 32, right? All right, cool. So moving on, we got Peyton Talbot versus Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon, the latest, not the latest, but another victim of Christian Rodriguez. He got caught. Christian Rodriguez. This kid is coming up fucking. He's like dog shit, man. I mean, he's getting his stick on everyone. It's like he's got a win over Raul Rosas Jr., the 19-year-old. He's got a win over this 23-year-old fucking elf on a shelf, Cameron Simon. I mean, he could not be more boyish, could not be more charming. And then Bulgarian, right? Of the 3, you got Raul Rosas Jr., he's the kid. Simon, he's the pretty boy. Then you got Bulgarian, he's the badass. And he's got a win over all 3. I mean, Christian Rodriguez is like the incumbent greatest of all time with these wins. They're going to look back at his record and be like, he beat Bulgarian, he beat Simon, and that was before, you know what I mean? It's like, these are going to become great names to our children who watch the sport in 10 years,
Yeah, no gentle push by the UFC for Rodriguez.
Well, they're all young, but I'm saying none of them have a reputation yet, but they're all gonna.
But they're all super talented. Yeah, it's no easy wins for Rodriguez here.
Peyton Talbot minus 140 favorite, coming off a submission win against Nick Arguire. Reyes Cortez was his ticket into the UFC on the Contender Series. He's undefeated, 25 years old, 5'10", 2 inches taller, 3 inches of reach over Cameron Simon. What do you guys think about this fight, Dan?
This is similar to what we just alluded to with the Targaryen and Rodriguez fight. I want to learn from this fight more than anything. I think Talbot is more aggressive and has a wrestling advantage, but is a little bit, in that aggression, a little bit more reckless, whereas Cameron Simon is a little bit more technical. I trust him a little bit more with the experience and just knowing like positionally where to place his attacks. I think I'm going to roll with Talbot here. Again, just for the wrestling and the aggression, I think is going to win the judges over a little bit. But I mean, this fight is anyone who says they know where this fight is going is absolutely lying to you. These guys are essentially rookies in the UFC with a lot of talent. Yeah, man, I want to learn from this fight more than anything. The official pick will be Talbot, just based on purely aggression alone and a little bit more grappling chops. But Cameron Simon, he can bang. He's super technical. He's shown that through his short tenure in the UFC. But I'll take the slight favorite. I mean, you might as well go with the favorite in this matchup. Hopefully Vegas knows what they're doing, but I'm not super, super invested in this fight whatsoever. So, Talbot.
Sorry, hold on. Get rid of it. Yeah, there you go.
All right. I'm going to go with Cameron Simon on this one. I think he's got a far more diverse skill set in his to his game. He's pretty much good everywhere. Yeah, Christian Rodriguez kind of gave him a little what for on the ground in their fight, but some people scored that for Simon. I thought Christian Rodriguez won pretty easily, but some people scored that for Simon. I think Simon's a tough customer. He's fought, hasn't fought the highest competition in the UFC, but in all of his fights, he's stunned. He's not one of these guys who fights to the level of his competition. He exceeds it in fights even better. He gets a lot of finishes in there, especially for this weight class. Peyton Talbot wasn't that don't impress me much. What he did in his last fight, Nick Arguire was kind of putting it to him. Nick Arguire might have stole a couple rounds in there. I think Cameron Simon is a million times better than Nick Arguire, especially his heart. Cameron Simon has no quit in him. He's not going to give up. He's not going to get broken like Nick Arguire did. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, it's tough, right? I mean, I'm going to side with you on this one and go with Cameron Simon. But I'm agreeing with Dan too, in that I want to learn from this fight. I want to see how Cameron bounces back from his first loss. I want to see how Peyton deals with probably, a sturdy test as far as technique goes in the striking department, at least. I think that having Druscus Du Plessis win that title is definitely going to be motivating for the guys at that gym. I think that you could kind of see Cameron Simon rising to the occasion after that loss. So I'm going to take Cameron Simon. I like the odds on him here. Bounce back fight, bounce back situation. But looking at their body types, could I see Peyton Talbot big brothering him? He's 2 years older. He's built more aggressively. He's got the wrestling. He's got the stronger traps, he's not built like a little bitch ass boy like Cameron Simon. No offense, Cameron, but you got the fucking body of that guy who, I don't want to expose myself, but you got a body. You got a certain type of body. So, and Peyton Talbot has a certain type of body. And when I see Peyton Talbot, I see a man. When I see Cameron Simon, I see a boy. And part of me thinks Peyton Talbot's going to go in there and fucking put his head to his chest and run him into the fucking mat for 3 straight rounds, Yeah, I'm kind of talking myself into Peyton Talbot here. Yeah, sorry, Alex. I think I got enough underdogs in my ship. I think I got to go with Peyton Talbot here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you took every dog but Dobson at this point. So
yeah, Ribas, Tafa, Shabazian, and Talbot. I like that a little bit better, I think. Yeah, right, because he lost to Christian Rodriguez, and I thought Christian Rodriguez lost to Bulgarian.
Different stylistic matchup. Peyton Talbot isn't much of a wrestler. We saw that in his last fight. He kind of got exposed in the wrestling.
Really? All right, I'll stick with Simon. All right, I don't know too much about Talbot, so I'll stick with Simon because if you're telling me that Talbot's not going to go in there and wrestle him to death.
I mean, I thought he got wrestle fucked by Nick Arguire in the first 2 rounds of that
I
fight.
kind of remember that now. Yeah. All right, give me Cameron Simon. I'll go Cameron Simon. Doubled up with Alex. Dan's taking Peyton Talbot. All right, cool. Billy Quarantillo versus Yusuf Zalal.
Fight of the night.
2 amazing fighters that we love so much from the start of this podcast. We've always loved these guys. These are 2 pandemic heroes. These are 2 of the best fighters that have come aboard since 2020. So fun to watch. Can't say enough good things about all these guys. How do we even? And yeah, they haven't fought each other. Actually, wait a minute. Isn't it that they did fight each other like when they were amateurs or some shit?
Nah, maybe if they're amateurs, I don't know, but professional.
Yeah, no, they didn't. I don't know. I thought there was something. Yeah, so no, they didn't. But I feel like these guys have fought on the same card a lot. I feel like these guys both came into the scene at the same time, and Zalal's getting a shot, man. He's getting his shot back. I gotta go with Zalal. I think Billy Quarantillo is a great fighter, but when you go out of the UFC on a 3-fight losing streak, or a 4-fight winless streak, essentially, and one of them you go out off a draw. He had a draw with Damon Blackshear. They cut him. Then he goes first round finish, boxing decision, kickboxing second round finish, first round finish. Every time he's fought MMA, 3 times since, he's gotten a first round finish. He's coming back into the UFC now with a lot of steam. He's going to fight a guy who's happy to oblige a tough fight. I think Zalal's the better striker. I'm going to go with Yusuf Zalal to get the win, and possibly by knockout, but I don't want to commit to that because Yusuf Zalal, obviously volume puncher, not necessarily known for, well, he is now. You know what I mean? He's knocking motherfuckers out now, but he's not finished anybody else in the UFC. So Peter Barrett, Jordan Griffin, Austin Lingo, no finishes, all decisions, outclassed him, dotted him up, did really great. I think that's what we kind of see here. I don't think Billy Quarantillo gets finished, but I think Zalal puts it on.
So you're going with Zalal Muhammad?
The Moroccan Devil, Yusuf Zalal Muhammad.
Dan, what say you, boy?
I got to go with Billy Q here. The weapons that Yusuf Zalal deploys are the cardio and the wrestling. You're not going to out-cardio Billy Q, number 1. Number 2, with the wrestling, he gets these guys down, but he doesn't really hold them down, doesn't really do too much damage. Billy Q, the only thing that gives me a little bit of hesitation here is, Billy Q does get taken down as well, but he usually gets back up. He gets back up fairly quickly. And as far as the volume goes, I mean, Billy Q is landing 7-point-something strikes per minute, whereas Yusuf Zalal is 2. So he's like almost tripling his strikes. Yusuf Zalal, the most strikes he's thrown, I just looked this up, most strikes he landed in a UFC fight was 63, which Billy Q could do in his sleep. There's only one UFC fight where Billy Q didn't reach that mark, and he won that fight against Spike Carlisle. So I like this as far as the power, the physicality. To me, that goes to Billy Q. I think he can match Yusuf Zalal as far as the cardio. He's 35, so he's getting there. I think we're reaching a point where we will be fading Billy Q, but it'll be because he's going to get knocked out because he's taken so much damage. But I don't think Yusuf Zalal, even with these knockouts in his recent past, not the best competition in the world. I don't think that power is going to translate to a guy like Billy Q. So give me Billy Q in this matchup. I'm a little bit scared, again, because of 35 years old with the fight style that he deployed here. A little bit scared, but I'm also fairly confident with this particular matchup that Billy Q can get the dub here. What do you think, Alex?
Before you say anything, Alex, I want to say that 4 years ago when he fought Spike Carlisle, he was 31 years old in the featherweight division. Now he's 35. The age upon which we, cast them away. The age upon which 30% of them only win.
Yusuf Zalal is a tiny little guy. He doesn't have.
Guess what? By the way,
he doesn't have the power.
When Billy Q was having a decision win against Spike Carlisle that he almost lost. At that time, Zalal was fighting a guy named Ilya Taporia to a 3-round close decision, a feat that could not be accomplished by Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with Billy Q myself. I just think he has a little bit more durability. If I remember Zalal,
He doesn't have more durability. He's 35 coming off a knockout loss.
If I Is he coming off a knockout loss? No,
He
I
said-
believe he's coming off of a win. He did get knocked out by Edson Barbosa a year ago, but not this time. He actually is coming off of a win.
You see
He's
this?
what? See what?
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Yeah, he's coming off a win against Damon Jackson.
Damon Jackson. Yeah. So Billy Q is going to go out there. He's going to be more durable. He's got more dimensions to his game. If I remember Yusuf Zalal correctly, he was on his back quite a bit during his UFC career. And although I thought he won a lot of those fights, it was still a hole in his game. And he was exposed in that aspect. And I saw a lot of wincing, a lot of frustration in those fights. I think Billy Q wins.
I'm going to move on. You're both wrong.
Okay, fair.
He's 35 years old.
Fair play, fair
You're not
play.
even that old.
Fair play to him.
35. You're barely past your prime. You're still sucking the teat of your prime there.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we got somebody joining the show. For some reason, Alex is a special surprise by Alex. So, here we go. Surprise guest time.
Yo, what up, boys?
Oh!
It's our cousin. What's up, Russell? How's it going?
Nothing, man. I'm calling in hot off the turnpike, dude. I tried to call Alex just, hear how the job's doing, be a good cousin. And he's like, I'm doing the pod. And I was like, let me on. I got picks. And then he just sent me a link. So here I am.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, well, we're on the last fight. Actually, no, we got one more after this. So give us your take on Billy Quarantillo, Yusuf Zalal. Billy Quarantillo was supposed to take on who was he supposed to fight in this match, Alex, originally?
It's
He
a
was
very
supposed to fight
disorganized show.
Gabriel Miranda.
Gabriel
And,
Miranda.
Ooh, that would been a barn burner.
And he pulled out. So it enters Yusuf Zalal, who you may remember, a pandemic warrior, fought a few times in the UFC, fought a guy named Ilya Taporia once. And he's coming
I
in.
heard of that guy.
He's coming in out of a 5-fight stint outside the UFC. Got cut off a draw. Lost 3 in a row, had a draw, gets cut from the UFC. 3 first-round finishes in MMA. Now he's back. Short notice fight against Billy Q.
It's going to be Billy Q. Short notice. Absolutely not. Like, you're already screwed. You're on a 5-fight losing skid, you said?
No, winning.
No. He lost 3 in a row to be cut from the UFC, with the last one, the 4th fight, being a draw. And then he wins 3 in a row, first-round finishes over the last year.
Okay.
And now he's taking a short notice fight in the UFC to get back in. But kind of bullshit that he got cut off a draw. And also all his fights were against top-level competition. Like I said, Sean Woodson, split decision. Sung Woo Choi, decision. And Ilya Taporia, decision.
Okay. If you lose to Ilya Taporia by a decision, although so did Emmett, but that was like different. That was like a different decision. I'm gonna roll.
We got
with,
a lot of fights to break down, Russ. You gotta just give us a pick. Come
He's
on.
He's good. Let him roll.
I'm gonna roll with Billy Q. All right. And then, do you want the main event? Do you want the main event pick right now? I'll let you guys get back to it.
Give us the main event.
Well, you can stick around for one more. We got one more we're gonna break down, but you can throw your main event pick in if it's quick. It's a lady fight. Nobody really cares. Amanda Ribas, Rose Namajunas.
Give him the whole main card.
Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. I think we're gonna go Amanda Ribas. I feel like that's the obvious choice.
Gross.
Okay. Well, she's the underdog, so
You and Luke are on that together.
yeah, I'm on that too. I think Rose doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I forgot that she was even in the UFC still. And when Alex sent me this link, I'm not up to date on my UFC picks, but I thought we were talking 300, and I was really excited. So little spoiler alert pick for 300. Jama.
Jama.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I'm hoping that the public is blind to this and they put it at a pick 'em, because I think it's clear that I think Pereira can take everything Hill's putting his way, and Jamal Hill with his lean back, fat boy, poor posture, woman at the grocery store doing dishes posture. Like, I can't fucking get behind that. I mean, he's got I don't know.
And a wise man once told me that when someone has the death touch, you don't bet against them.
Well, we don't use my
Peloton has
fucking
the
full
death
name. I gotta
touch.
bleep that out now. That's why we don't like Jester in the fucking show. Like,
Shit. All right, boys.
I'm not really trying to do editing, but now I have to. So
All right,
Well,
love you, Russ.
There you go. Russ,
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
the
do
man. See you
it
soon.
always
Later.
happens.
Thanks for doxing us.
Say,
No problem. See you.
Oh damn! I should
I'm
have
cutting
said
that whole thing out.
that.
I'm cutting that whole segment out. Don't ever send somebody the link again. I fucking
Damn.
And why did you play
Lewis,
golf?
5
And I'm
minutes
asking,
in
I'm like,
game.
do you know anything about this? Like, I
I
didn't know.
couldn't see.
Like,
I couldn't see. I can't see the waiting room.
why can't you see the waiting room?
He docs both your asses.
All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna cut that whole part out. All right. Luis Peluso versus Fernando Padilla.
Whoa, are we still on the main card?
One
this
last fight.
All right.
I
There's like a
told you,
lot.
dude. These Apex fights, they don't even give a fuck anymore. They're like,
Oh, no,
who
not at all.
knows what's the main card, the prelims? Like,
Well, no,
we'll
the
put
thing
7 main card fights.
We got 6 fight main cards here. This is asinine. Not
That's a
tradition.
10.
I don't know if I can take this anymore. To be honest with you guys, it's too much stress. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
Too much.
This fight's crazy. Fernando Padilla coming off a loss against Kyle Nelson 6 months ago. He's taking on Contender Series breakout star with a knockout over Robbie Ring, Luis Pajulo. Pajulo is going to be 2 inches shorter. He's going to have a significant reach disadvantage, 7 or so inches of reach disadvantage against Padilla. But it's like, yo, Padilla, you lost to Kyle Nelson. You knocked out Julian Erosa. That's your story so far. This guy's story is yet to be written. I don't really think Peruvians, there is not a history of them having like a ton of good fighters coming out of that country. So he's still training out of Peru. Who's he training with? He's training with Katashi Nakamura. He's training with not even the other good Peruvians. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for the other guy that's good from Peru, and he's not even training with him. It's like, all right, so I'm going with the Mexican.
The armbar guy.
What's up?
I said the armbar guy from Peru who was in the top 15 or whatever for 155 for like a brief moment, and then he got knocked out.
Yeah,
Who am I talking about?
Puelles.
Yes, Claudio Puelles.
I'm just saying, if you're fighting, he fought UFC Noche, Francisco Padilla, UFC Noche in Mexico, can't get a win over Kyle Nelson, the Canadian. Canadians can't even win in Canada. They went 0-6, and you can't even beat this Canadian's ass coming all the way down from fucking Canada. You can't even beat him in Mexico. You're from Mexico. Fernando Padilla, you kind of suck. I'm not a fan, but debutants lose at a rate of 63.5%. So I'm taking Fernando Padilla to get the win here against the debutant with something to prove off that loss to Kyle Nelson, who is a monster, who is tough, who is a hearty competitor. So, Padilla, you better fucking learn good from that fight, and you better get in there and win this time.
Agreed. I'm going to go with Padilla as well. I picked Kyle Nelson in that fight, but as far as this matchup is concerned, I picked it not because I disrespected Padilla, but because I have respect for Kyle Nelson. I always have. So I like Padilla in a bounce-back matchup against a debutant here. The Mexican spirit will be brought back once again. I think he's going to get the dub, and he's a favorite for a reason. Got to ride with the favorites sometimes, Listen, do the math, okay? More of the wins will be favorites on the card. So if you're ever on the fence, go with the favorite. It's as simple as that. Fernando Padilla.
Corazon de Leon versus El Valenzuela.
What are you laughing at? What, you disagree? You think more underdogs win on a card, Luke?
I just think you just tell me about Billy Walter and like how you're trying to be more cerebral with betting, and you're just like, hey, here's my advice. If it's a toss up, just go.
Sometimes you gotta go back to the basics, okay?
So
last week was a huge underdog card. Last week was a huge underdog card. Still, more favorites won. So do the math. Very simple.
So if they're more of a favorite, you should be like more confident, right?
Well,
so,
first of all, Billy Swift, whatever his name is, he doesn't do parlays. We do parlays, so we have to err on the side of caution sometimes. Go with the favorite. Different style of
It
bet.
doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna fucking happen, Dan.
Yeah, and Padilla's going to win. That's what's
If
going
every
to
Most
happen.
underdog-
cautious, I would say the most cautious thing to
If
do is
every
pick the
if
correct
every
pick.
underdog on the card won, and you actually had a hunch up your ass about each one, and you were like, "But I mean, look at my."
That'll never happen. That'll never fucking
Well, it
happen.
does.
Don't even
Wow.
try. That'll never happen.
I think it has.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
I think it
All but
has.
one favorite one.
What was the card? What was the card?
I'll find it for you.
Go ahead. Go get it.
I'll find it for you. Not right now. Chill. All right, we have to move on to the Patreon.
All right, let me get my pick in. We got El Valiente versus Corazon de Leon. But I'll have to say Padilla for Mia. All right, let's go through our final thoughts.
So, Dan, UFC Fight Night Mir versus Bigfoot, February 15th. No, sorry, February 22nd, 2015. 10 underdogs won and 1 favorite won.
Okay, so did every dog win?
The average.
Did every dog win?
No, I'm just saying. I told you that there was a night where and you said which one. I just told you.
No, I asked for a card where every dog won. You haven't supplied that yet. So until you do, you did not win that argument. Let's go with our final thoughts.
Okay, hold on. Looking for a zero.
Hold up.
For a zero. Wait, I can hit Control F. 0.
Chat GPT doesn't know dick. Doesn't know anything.
Yeah, it looks like
UFC 226. Every main card winner was an underdog.
Yeah, but not every.
UFC
every
what?
main card. Every main card. Sorry.
Main card doesn't count. We bet the whole card.
Yeah, it looks like no card has ever taken place where every single underdog
Of course.
has won.
Not even in boxing, the most corrupt sport of all time.
It's pretty fucking crazy. Never happened. There's only been nights where one favorite has won. But dude,
I'm surprised that even happened.
That just means it's gonna fuck. There's been a lot of nights where one favorite has won, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking here. Like it says, okay, like oh wait, some of them are like one favorite one and 0 underdogs won. You know what I mean? Like
one fight.
Yeah, like it was like weird ass.
So 100% of favorites won.
That Mir versus Bigfoot shit was real.
Yeah. I should watch that whole card. That should be fun.
All right, let's go through our fucking picks, guys. Like, what are we doing here? Stop looking up old shit.
Okay.
Alex is hangry. Start from the top, Alex.
Let's go into the future. All right. Rose Namajunas, Carl Williams, Edmund Shabazian, Cameron Simon, Billy Quarantillo, and Fernando Padilla. Dan.
All right. Starting from the top here, I am rolling with Rose Namajunas, Carl Williams, Edmund Shabazian, Peyton Talbot, Billy Q, and Fernando Padilla.
Okay, and if you go with me, I'm going with Amanda Ribas, Justin Tafa, Edmund Shabazian, Cameron Simon, Yusuf Zalal, Fernando Padilla. All right, guys, if you want to get the prelims picks, we're going to hop over to the Patreon and do the prelims. Join us over there. Thank you very much for joining the show so far. We'll see you over at the Patreon. Wait, I forgot. Trophy certified picks. What are the Trophy certified picks?
Triple B certified picks are
None. There's none.
Edmund Shabazian.
Edmund Shabazian is the only one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Fernando Padilla.
And Fernando Padilla?
Yeah.
All right. Edmund Shabazian, Fernando Padilla, that she'll be certified. Thanks, everybody.